Joining. There you are, beautiful. Hi. Can you hear me? See, I can't hear you. What? Hmm. Okay. Hold up five fingers if you can hear me.
I gotcha.
Now I got you. Okay. I have to use a microphone and I have to use my old headphones from the station.
Oh,
And here's the
okay.
thing. Dick Biondi used to use my headphones. He used to steal them
Okay.
and use them without my permission, even though it clearly states my name on here. And he shorted them out. But these are my favorite. So I should just get them fixed. But you look
Oh,
fantastic. What
oh
yeah,
no, I feel like I'm 100.
you're not.
I've colored in my hair for you. I
I love
love
it.
blonde. First of all, I just want to say I love you. I could cry seeing you. This makes me so happy.
I love you too. I miss you.
I don't know if we're recording and I don't care. I just had a Zoom with Christina Filiaggi
Oh, yeah, okay. How is
and
she?
Joni Young, and we were like crying, laughing all at the same time. Christina's in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah. What will you get me in one of these calls, please?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Because
It would be fun. And then Joni's been in Savannah, Georgia. She loves it. She's homeschooling her son. She's like, Georgia is open. She's like, come live here. It's a whole
yeah,
different, it's a whole different world.
but your dollar goes so much further. Your
I know,
dollar, your
right?
buck is like five.
I wish I could. Let me. Oh,
Oh,
I'm going to go that way. Okay, there
okay.
I am.
There you go.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, JoAnn, we've said it over and over again. I'm going to do it like this so I look thinner.
You look fine. You look fine.
You have not seen
I
my
wore
butt.
this because I look drab. I was looking drab, and then I put some pink in my hair. But go on, go on.
No, I really, I miss everybody, but then I keep telling myself, you know what? This is good. We're all reinventing. We're working towards something. I don't even know what that is, but
Exactly.
I feel like we are in a better place. And people told me that after we were let go, and I thought, no way. But it's kind of nice to be able to say, I'm going to do this for me, like you're doing, for you,
Right.
right?
Right. I was like a co-host 6 times.
Yeah.
I was a host once, but they don't let women do that very long. So it was on that little station that nobody listened to, but it was a
Right.
way for me. But who else was ever going to give a woman a talk show in
Right.
Chicago? No one, because every time they did
Right.
that, it lasted 3 months. They didn't promote them.
Yeah.
They marginalized them, and then they replaced them with the guy and girl team and the giggle girl and all that crap. And then they only see us as traffic reporters for whatever reason.
Oh, I know. It's so funny.
But
I still have people, they'll say, I remember when you did the weather. I'm like, I didn't never did weather, but I
know.
did traffic
When I was
for
at
like
Kiss
7
FM
years.
for 7 years, they always confuse me with Melissa from the Mix. They go, "Oh
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
you're JoAnn McGurran from the Mix." I go, "Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's fine." Because people who listen to radio listen passively anyway. You know
Right.
that, so it doesn't even matter that much.
It's going to be.
Yeah,
So what do you want to do? Are we recording? You want to record? You want to ask me
we are
questions?
totally recording this, and I have
Oh,
questions
good.
for you because I want to spotlight you, and people forget we exist. Now, I just did a newspaper, if you can believe it. Newspaper still exists. It's called the Chicago Sports Journal, and the guy
Oh,
who
good.
owns it contacted me, and next call you do with Christina, tap me in, okay?
Okay.
And I mentioned her in the interview because
Oh,
it was a bunch of questions about my career. And I was like,
sure.
yeah, that's over my career. But right now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm actually helping with food deliveries, which here in
Nice.
Southern California, because we
Yeah.
went on lockdown, much stricter than the rest of the country. So
Right. Right.
stricter. And it really affects. So then I'm not actually a driver, but I will go with the deliveries and he'll give me some cash.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That actually has been very profitable because everything's on lockdown and nobody could be in restaurants. Now, last
Right.
week they started reopening some of the restaurants, but they have to be outside in tents. So the money's going down. So I'm like, and it's
Right.
just cash anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of riding that wave for a while. And then I have just little
Good.
things that I do freelance, but they only make a couple bucks here and there, as you know. And then I'll do this and I have a YouTube channel that like kind of
I
is
love
there,
you.
but
I love you.
there's no way I can't keep doing something creative or news related. Although, at this point, even if let's say you and I decided to launch a news network,
Right.
There's so many, first of all, so much fake news, so much PR crap news. What is that, Deadline or whatever, that entertainment thing? I hate that. I hate when they
I
spin all that
stopped
crap.
watching. I don't read. I don't watch. I'm overload.
Yes, and the market is so flooded. So like everyone has a TV show, everybody
Yeah.
has a fans only account, everybody
Yeah.
has a podcast, and a
Right.
wonderful Jill Urchek just launched a podcast. I'm listening to it. I love her, and I hope that she does well. But I'm
Oh,
not doing
great.
a podcast because I just read there's
Well, she, oh,
929,000 podcasts.
I thought that'd been
So
a while though.
no, this is a different one. No,
Oh,
that was the psychic thing. She has one where she is like being Jill. It is like,
oh,
whoa. So I'm like that. So maybe I'll do a podcast. But at
cool.
this point, if everybody has a podcast who's listening, do you see what I'm saying? So now here
Right.
I am in Hollywood, it is so weird here. Marty, whatever used to be here isn't here anymore. And
Oh,
so like what I do for inspiration, because I was a huge Johnny Carson fan, and I always had a TV in my bedroom growing up, right?
yeah. Right.
So
Right.
late night TV is like huge to me. And I wanted the Tonight Show, for God's sakes,
Yeah.
if they're not
Yeah.
going to let me talk on the radio in Chicago, how's that ever going to happen? But, so that wasn't ever going to happen. But like Joan Rivers was huge for me. I
Yeah.
remember Jay
Yeah.
Leno filling in for Johnny Carson that last year, being way better than Carson. Like, do you remember the show just started sucking ass?
Oh,
You'd have all the
sure.
guest hosts.
Yeah.
And every night at 10 p.m., MASH, right? MASH reruns on Channel 32.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? And
I
right?
do. It's been so long. Yes.
And then you flip over to Channel 5, NBC, and it's 10:30. Do you know where your children are? And
Yeah.
so in my little girl head, I thought I would marry Johnny Carson. Do you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like a sexual thing. It was,
Right.
he was a little girl who, like, I thought he was the most powerful man in the world. So what I
I
do
think
now,
he was back then.
he was.
Yeah.
It turns out, if you hear the story, is one of these. I mean, real jerk, like,
Yeah.
he's one
Oh
of
my God.
he's a boozer, and what he had 4 wives. So in my head, because I had heard that he had married a woman named JoAnn, my little girl brain
Oh,
said, well, then I'm going to someday marry Johnny Carson. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
hysterical.
what my little girl
Sure.
brain did. So what I
The-
do is every once in a while for inspiration, I go down to Burbank. I was doing it like every day for a while. And
Okay.
there's like, it's not a monument. It's like a sign, and then they have his bust in copper.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it.
And
Okay.
it's called
Wow.
Johnny Carson Park, and it's right across from his studio, which is now, I think,
Wow.
the iHeartMedia. It's very boring over there. When you go
Sure.
to Burbank, it's super boring. And then, but I walk around and I do cartwheels and I talk to Johnny. And there's
Yeah.
some regulars that come to the parks, and I've gotten to know them. So that's been sort of inspiring me. But like, so you go in Burbank, and let's say like there's Warner Brothers takes up like all of Olive Avenue.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll take the walk. Every office is empty. They're still filming stuff, but like the offices are empty. It's totally dead. I actually got to know all the security guards because they're bored out of their minds. So the studio itself, it's over. Like, that's over. Then I go into Hollywood. Oh, honey, I have to tell you, it's so gross. It is. If you go to Hollywood and Highland,
Oh, that makes me sad.
it's really bad.
Gosh.
It's
Yeah.
so much homeless. And then everywhere
Mm.
is another billboard. Yellow, purple, yellow, purple. Watch me. No, watch this. And you don't recognize any of
Wow.
these people. So
Right.
like I
Right. True.
recognized Mike Tyson once on a billboard. I was like, oh, I know him. But everyone else, it's like nothing. So the market is flooded with the streaming service. So like,
Oh, it's overload.
it is.
Sure.
It is. So it's hard to make money, right? So but people like us, what else are we gonna do? We gave our whole lives
Yeah.
to this. So I
Yeah.
want to ask. Let's not talk about me. I want to talk about you. I really do, because I talk about myself enough. And
I love
and
it. I'm ready.
okay, so you're beautiful, you're hot, you're talented. I love you. Marti Jones, everyone. I didn't even say your name. I love
Ta-da.
so you're a resident hottie and everything, but this is what I wanted to say, because I went on your LinkedIn
Okay.
last night, and your LinkedIn
Okay.
is so much better than mine. You're so
Oh,
good at self-promotion. Like, I have the Catholic
no.
self-deprecation. Like, I've accomplished amazing things, but like I'll like then I don't want to like promote myself. And that's always been my problem.
It's difficult for anyone to do that.
It is, but especially women, because we're told that
Yeah.
if we take up too much space, that we're being, so, and we've got that
Well,
ingrained in our heads,
well, I will say this, that's so funny you say that, because I think there's so much more I can do with LinkedIn, and I think it's ongoing for
Yeah.
anyone who's on LinkedIn, any women who want to get themselves started and up and running, I think it's a great place. When we were first laid off, it's coming up on 4 years
Is
that
it
we lost
really?
our,
Oh,
yeah,
we had a job after that. And that's the
4
other thing. You
years.
got me that next job. Thank you. Mwah.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you for
right.
that next one.
We worked together at that other
A bunch
place
of
for
times.
6 months, and they closed shop. Remember that?
Right. It's like the
Just a side
14th
note,
time I was fired. Yeah.
I think it was a conference call, and they said, "Yeah, we're closing." And I looked around the room, going, "Are we out of work?"
Right.
And they're like, "Yeah, your check's in the mail." And that's how it goes. But with LinkedIn, I actually talked with a coach right after that. And she said, like, you just don't exist. I'm like, I don't know what you mean. So she gave me some tips, as far as saying, all right, on LinkedIn, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. So I tried to put some stuff together, and I do have my website out, jonesmarty.com. So I'm very excited. So that's going to go up there, which is all for voice work.
Good.
And I was able to connect with some people that I worked with years ago. And you would love this one woman who she owns a production company and lives in Tuscany, and she's beautiful. And so she gives me some work from time to time. So there's that. And the podcast thing is definitely something I've thought about. I'll tell you, I think we could have one. We should have one. It's just, where do you find your niche and who wants to listen? But I will tell you, I'm doing some part-time work with a group of like 25-year-olds. That's all they listen to. No one's really listening to radio. They're like,
oh no, radio is so dead, and there's no advertisers.
Yeah.
So it has to be dead.
I don't know what the road ahead for those who are still in the business. I think it's going to be there, but if we're putting this out there and you're a woman who's in your 20s and you want to do this business, this is what I'm going to say to you. Be prepared. Have the backup. I thought I was going to retire and be an old, I'm 65, 70, and look at me. And I go out with
So did everyone, though. So did everyone. All the money that I put aside and invested throughout the years, you had to, like, the kid died, funeral. You don't,
Right.
Mom and dad. Oh, dad, you didn't have any life insurance? Thanks.
Exactly. No, life happens.
Right.
It pops up in front of you. But what I didn't realize, so if you're going to be a writer, be able to produce, be able to do digital, be able to get to the social media. So in one thing, you have to have 5 things attached. In other words, just keep your skills going, because I will tell you.
Oh, another code word is content creator. Content creator. Absolutely. That's big out here.
But I really think it's a great, I don't know, I love it. I think it's a great thing to be able to do that. But when you're in, like we're in the studio, when you're in the group and you're having that fun, or you're on a morning show or an afternoon show, you really get caught up in, wow, we love being on air. We love it. It's in our soul.
I know.
And it always will be. I recently talked with some girls we both know, with Christina and Joni, and they say the same thing. I mean, they're all in different states now. Everyone's doing different things, who's raising their family, who's working somewhere else. But in here, it still resonates that they want to be creative.
Yeah, and I like to JoAnn-splain people, because you know how we've been subjected to mansplaining our entire life? And so, and because I know that I don't know it all, but I happen to have, women are good at observing things a little bit more, like 1,000 times more than men. And so because of that, I go around JoAnn-splaining everyone.
I love it.
That's what I liked about radio. And I wanted to be a voice for people who didn't have a voice, like women,
Sure.
And so, but then I had to face the same. I was going to write a book, Ain't No Broads in Broadcasting. And I talked to all the women that I know that have worked in it, because it's so patriarchy, misogyny, all the ridiculous things that have been said to us as women that it's not that we let it slide, but you know how to play the game, because they're like, they think that everything they say is, first of all, factual when it's not. And a lot of these guys think everything that they say is brilliant, and it's not. And we all had to do some shift where we had to sit there and wait to do traffic or news while Rush Limbaugh's going on, and he's not making any sense, and he has no facts. And we all had to like eat it, like, ugh. And then one time I was filling in for you for one of those stations in Texas, and I almost hit the mic. I had to hold myself down. The guys was going on about how women are having babies to drain the government system, and that it's all women's problems, that they need to shut their legs. And I hit the mic to tell them off, and I went, no.
Yeah.
Because there is an audience for that still exists, but it's nonsense. Women are not going around getting
Yeah.
pregnant so that they can't support their children. It's
Well,
like,
this is why I think women, we continue, we have to be kind to each other and help each other
exactly.
instead of being the opposite
Competing.
and, and saying, sorry, I've got this, I'm not helping you, because eventually all of this goes in this circle. We all, I'll never forget you told me, you're like, I made $5 an hour and I've made six figures. Well, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Yeah.
in between.
Everything.
And so everyone's going to follow that path.
Yeah.
And I think you just need to really be kind. And women, this is what I'm saying, have your plan, but don't, just oust somebody. I'll never forget, we were doing, I worked for Shadow Traffic a million years ago, Metro. Now it's iHeart. It was I think it's iHeart now, or Total Traffic. Anyway, and Christina was doing, she was filling in for Channel 5 TV. And she didn't know what to wear. She comes in with all these blouses, and we're
Yeah.
picking them, and we're doing, I'm like, I threw her in the blue shirt, and I go, this is what you're doing. I tucked her in. She did her makeup. And what I'm saying is I helped her. We helped each other.
Yeah.
I didn't look at her and say, well, not me.
Right. But then
And that's what I'm saying with all the Me Too and the women movements, just be kind and try to lift everybody up.
but you and I both know they've done that thing where they only let certain women succeed, or it's almost
Yeah.
like they only let us have so many spots, which then makes us have
Sure.
to climb over each other when we don't want to. I
When you
got
don't
to a
want
point
to.
when we don't want
Sure.
to, and I don't want to I don't want to be up for a job up against my friend and then be in
Sure.
that position. And
Sure.
but we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh my God, this again, because they only let
Yeah.
us so many succeed. And then I have so many stories of the stupid things said to me by men, but I don't want to talk about that right now. We
Oh,
could talk about that another time, but that was why I either wanted to make a documentary or a book, Ain't No Broads in
sure.
Broadcasting. But every time I go to certain women, they go, well, I still want to keep working because they know the minute. And I'm like, you don't have to say
Sure.
who
I see
said
what you're
it.
saying. So if
And
they
I'm
say
right.
anything, they're afraid. Gotcha.
Because
Yeah.
those guys
Sure.
still get the jobs. And so I'm like, you don't have to
Yeah.
say who said it,
Yeah.
just say what was said. And even that makes, and I get it. So you have to play the game. So, but I have questions for you because you made
I'm ready. I just
okay.
want to say this really quick. I have two things. I've been told to shut up, and I've
Always.
also had a hand in my face.
It's either way. It's either, why didn't you
And
talk
it's
there?
good to laugh, right? You got to say, seriously? Okay. So anyway,
Honey,
what's the
I've
question?
heard it all. I've heard it all. I had everything said to me, everything. And
I'm ready.
keep smiling. That was the one when I filled in for you. You're like, okay, this boss, he doesn't want anything negative, and he thinks women are supposed to
Oh.
smile all the time. I'm like, oh, he's one of those. And I did. And I'm like, oh, he's one of those. And I did. And then I filled in for you another time, and I went to this other boss
my
that we
God.
had. And I
Yeah.
said, so how did I do today filling in for Marty? And he goes, oh, I don't know. I don't listen. I go,
Oh.
that's your job. That's your job. Your entire job is to listen to
No,
his
this
product.
is so true, and it's priceless. I love it.
I'm like, then why did I work hard? Why did I work hard if you're not paying attention? Okay, so here, so I'm
Right.
reading your bio, and you've been on
Oh
like a
my.
station like me. The cookie thing. I want you to talk about the cookie thing because you created your own cookie business, and I was
Oh,
like, it
I
was so
did.
fantastic.
You mean
that
that?
story?
Okay. Well, two things. I will say yes. I have a sweet business, so it's like sweet tables and desserts that I've done. Prior to that, I did create the ice cream for Haagen-Dazs, so that was a really cool thing. And I was able to do a little project with the Food Network, and that was several years ago. But that was fun. But that kind of led me to, okay, I have all these recipes. Number one. Number two, my great aunts, my grandmothers gave this all to me. So you have all the tradition, of all of that trickling down. And every time I would go somewhere, my family or friends are like, why don't you sell these?
Right.
And I'm like, it's so much work and this or that. And so I decided to, and it is a lot of work and it's a lot of energy. My biggest event was 400 people. I did a wedding.
I love
And I did the sweet table was from here to like where you're at. It was, months. I baked for months. But when you're loving something, you absolutely love it. And so that's some of the things that I think would be fun for me to talk about in what I do. If I'm doing something on YouTube, if I'm doing something, even if I'm writing a book, I started writing a cookbook recently, putting some things together.
I don't cook, but I would buy it. Don't worry. I would buy it.
So there's that. But so I guess, if you start doing something you really, really love, of course, they say it's not work, and that's
No,
true.
they say do what you love and money will follow. That used to work. That formula used to
Yeah,
work.
I don't know about that,
After
right?
the recession, it all changed because of technology.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I will say for both, when I was out there doing, I interviewed some chefs, and they were very open to talking with me. Some in Chicago, and we were all like on an equal level. It was kind of nice because they had that passion, and I was sharing what I wanted to do with these sweets, because what I wanted to do is bring that generation or tradition to your doorstep. I want you to feel good, JoAnn. If I send you a box of cookies, I want you to open it up and say, isn't this wonderful? The smell is great. I'm having a nice memory. You think about maybe your mom, your grandma, someone you had coffee with or shared tea with. And I love that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where definitely my heart is at.
But you
So
like
we'll see.
incorporated it and you did all of that stuff. I was so proud of you when you told me that story.
Okay,
I was
you're
like, that is
funny.
fantastic. It's like, I love that you did that. And I was like, why don't you talk about that all the time? The other thing on your LinkedIn real quick before, see, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
First, when my father died, I was, I'm an only kid. So both my parents died in the same year.
Oh my God, we're both only kids.
Yes, we are. And and your godmother was my first grade teacher, remember? Because I went to St. Pius, Mrs. Moran.
Oh my God, yes,
Or is that your cousin? Or is that your cousin?
Yes, it's my cousin. That's right.
She was my first grade teacher at
We're
St. Pius.
related. Oh, Mamma Mia.
Right. And I think we were both at Brenda Lissak's basement party in Villa Park in 83? That was you and me. No, but that's when I won that trophy for Billie Jean. I did the dance.
Oh, very nice. Yes.
You don't remember. I'm making it up.
You were excellent.
But so I'm going through my dad's stuff after he passes away, and my dad loved he loved taking pictures. He loved bars and sports and everything.
Oh,
and
sweet.
So you won't be able to see it here, but I'm going to insert it later. I have photos of you with my dad, and I go, this is Marti.
Oh my gosh.
My dad also was a very big Christina Filiaggi fan, and she and my dad both loved American Idol. So because I was over at KISS, whenever they would do American Idol on tour, like I had to cover it for news, but I never really cared that much. The only one I cared about was the first one, Kelly Clarkson, and the second one, Ruben and Clay Aiken. But Christina and my dad loved that. So then after they would wrap up American Idol, they would go on tour, and I would always get the tickets. I never get tickets for stuff I wanted. It would always be like, you always get tickets for artists. Like I had to pay for Madonna tickets, but then I get these other tickets for free. I got to pay for, this thing, but that's just how it works.
Yeah.
But so I would get the tickets, I would get them, and my dad and Christina would go to the American Idol concert on my tickets.
Cute. I love it.
But the other thing is I have photos of you with my dad. So when you
Where?
Every time that you guys did like celebrity bartending, my dad would be one of the guys that would show up. He was the calendar that all the
Yeah.
My dad, it was still hanging on his wall when he did.
Oh my God.
Each month he would use a different, year, but whatever the picture was, he loved all of you guys. He was a huge supporter.
I love it. I can't wait to see this, how you put it together, because I want to see that. Yeah. Oh my God. What year was that? How many years ago?
I have no idea. I was, I don't remember where I was working.
Almost 20. It has to be almost 20 years.
Is it 20 years? Okay. And then,
I think it was.
So there's that. And then I'm going through and I saw you did Principal for a Day. I did that. Why don't I have this stuff on my bio? That was so fun. Principal for a Day. You forget you do stuff, but you did Chicago Celebrity Dancing with the Stars. I don't remember this. What was this? Who did you dance with? What is this about?
Oh my God. Yes. I think there's actually, I don't want to confess or say this, YouTube, if you search Marti Jones Celebrity Dance, you'll see me in my red dress. I did it for breast cancer awareness. And it's actually an organization, Chicago Dancing with Celebrities, Arthur Murray. They're wonderful. They raise millions. And I was so afraid when I walked in that room. There were 500 people, and I'm like, I can't do this. We all practiced for like months, but it was the best thing ever. And and you cry and you're happy because the stories that you hear. And then the second year they asked me back, and we each brought a picture. I had my mom, and they came out. Oh my God, I could just cry thinking about it one of the dancers was holding her photo and then say it was someone else's. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So, when I think about my career, maybe has ended, there were so many beautiful points to it.
That's what I
Like
keep,
yours.
every time I start to cry or
So
feel
you
that
say,
it's over,
thank you.
well, then I go back and I start looking at
Yeah.
photos going, wait a minute, stop crying about what is gone. Remember
Right.
what was. And then
Right.
anytime I go, radio's dead and I'll never do it again, I think of all the people, Marty, whose
Yeah.
lives were attached to creating and selling the Rolodex or the fax machine.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Things that don't exist anymore. So if I put it in that box or that
Yeah.
folder,
Right.
then it's like, okay, then I can get through the day and not go, I'm going to go kill myself. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Not that I ever would. I have kids, but if
No,
I
I understand.
I don't
I
know.
understand what you're
This
saying.
pandemic has officially broken me. So and I'm very
think
strong.
everyone. No, I mean, I think we're stronger than we know, but the pandemic, every single person I've talked to is saying the same thing. They're still afraid, but then they're hopeful, but then they're terrified. It's like every moment, right emotion.
We're
And I don't
traumatized.
care
It's like,
what age you're at. It's just, it's crazy, traumatized, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get past all this, but we will. And I think
Oh my
some
gosh.
really exciting things will happen for both of us. You never know, Missy Miss.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes here's another thing. So the smoking got worse. My smoking got worse in the pandemic because I have all this free time.
Sure.
And so what I'm doing right now is I'm taking some toxic cleansers. There's like a fruit juicery place. So I'm doing all that. And I'm trying to switch over to the vape. And then Mel Robbins. Do you know who that is? You have to look her
I know
up.
the name.
She does the 5-second rule. So every time I go to grab for one out of habit, and it doesn't help me. It's killing me,
Sure.
You're supposed to go like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I pick up
I
the
love
vape
it.
instead of because I don't like it. I hate the smell of it. I hate everything about it, but it is so addictive, and it got worse in the pandemic because I had all this free time. And so then I'm stressed, free time, stressed, free
Don't
time.
you think, I mean, everyone, I've heard more people who are drinking,
Oh my gosh,
ordering their wine. I mean, when this first happened, I would do a Zoom with 8 of my cousins every Friday.
Whatever, right? Yeah.
So for 2 months, we did this. The first week, everyone's like, oh, I had a glass of wine. The next week, my cousin's like, yeah, we bought a case. Then 2 weeks later, she's like, yeah, we're on our second case. I'm like, in 2 weeks. I mean, it was crazy.
Right.
Everyone was doing this. It's sad when I go to my neighborhood liquor store and he's like, you've had all the rosé. So now we're going to move you on to.
He knows you that well.
Oh, yeah. I walk in, I'm like, dry, white, red, dry. What are you giving me? Oh my God, we laugh.
Yeah.
But everyone's just trying to deal. But here's the best thing. I think it's
terrible coping mechanism, by the way. Alcohol.
Yeah, right.
It is the worst coping mechanism
But
of all time.
I truly believe in it together. I do. It really makes you feel like even we're far apart, we're still connected. I feel like I just never left you. Like we're still sitting.
Oh, like no, I'm like that. But I'm like that. If I make a connection with somebody, we just pick up wherever. Do you remember David Pierczynski? It's like
yes.
I will pick up I'm still having conversations with people from 1981.
I love it.
I'm like, oh wait, you know what? No, I don't know Keith Pfister. I don't have holes in my underpants. Like. Because he left that on my answering machine. I'm doing
very nice.
I
very
do
nice.
holes in your underpants, and I recognized his voice. And I went to school the next day. No, Keith Pfister, I do not have holes in my underpants. And he was like, how'd she know it was me?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
No, did you grew up in DuPage, right?
No, well, no, I was in Oak Parker, so that's Cook County.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very sorry, but I am in the Cook County region. That's a little where the taxes are 0.
Are they?
No, don't get me started.
No, but they are up north Cook County. Like if you go Hoffman Estates and stuff, right?
I can't. That's for another conversation. We could talk about Chicago and what's happening in Illinois, and it makes me sad.
What are you doing right now? So you were telling me you're doing some things. I call into podcasts and stuff and do goofy stuff, and then I post it. But
yeah, Right
What
now,
else do
I
you do?
mean, I'm doing, well, definitely I was very thrilled about my website because that was a long time coming.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting auditions because of that. So I love it. Now, that doesn't mean
Yay.
when you say, oh, auditions, you got it, but you're at least offered the chance
Yeah.
to do that. So something will happen there. And I'm excited about that. I'm interested in the audiobook thing. A couple of people have sent me stuff. I don't know. I've not done that. They say it can be difficult because it's so lengthy when you're doing books. So that's something. The podcast, there's a couple of things. So
Yeah.
I don't really have anything set in stone. And, and I want to work for QVC. Anyone listening?
Yes.
I'm gonna be on I want to be on that shopping channel.
Okay.
Yes, I have to. Oh
Love
my God,
this.
cut out all the stuttering, would you please? But I could sell anything.
You
Would
could.
love, love, love it.
I could totally see you sitting next to Joan Rivers and selling
I could
flashy
say,
stretch pants.
this scarf you need.
You do.
It's not only a wrap. For $150, it's yours,
It's legitimate. Now, even though capitalism and consumerism is kind of down, people overall, but still at the
Right.
same time, people still need stuff. I think you could totally do that. And in fact, why
Yeah.
couldn't you be on Amazon instead of like just a video of a girl in a dress
Oh,
talking
wow.
about, right? So you're going, here
Never
is
thought of
the,
it.
right, here you can buy your case of water on Amazon. So as a joke last week or 2 weeks ago, and I have to show it to you, since I live in an apartment complex now, and it's a
Yeah.
huge one, people are moving in out at the beginning and end of month. There's always stuff
Yeah.
at the dumpster, and some of it's good.
Oh my
So
God.
if it's worth anything, I take it, I clean it, and I sell it. I'll
Sure.
sell it. There's a flea market here, or I sell it to one of those used clothes things. I don't donate it, I sell it. And then if I
I
can't sell
love
it,
it.
that's when I donate. But things found at the dumpster. This is a video. Things you find at the dumpster that you can buy on eBay. And then you show people what
Oh
that
my
is
God.
that you
You have to. You're doing this, right?
Yes. And then I really quick,
Hysterical. I
look
love
what I
it.
found at the dumpster. This, I don't know who this woman was, but I'm sure she was well known. This is a bra. Look at the size of these babies. Okay, so she left this with all her. It's as big as my head. She left
I thought it was a
tons
hat.
of these. Look, right?
I thought it was a hat.
I mean, this woman. I'm thinking she was
Wow.
popular. They're huge. They were huge. So I find stuff at the furniture. I wish I hadn't brought anything from Chicago. I didn't need to move anything because
Yeah.
it's all Wayfair stuff anyway, that cheap stuff.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, well, this is one of my favorite movies. Do you remember this movie?
Oh yeah. I'm
And
trying
I
to see
love
that.
Goldie Hawn. I have the same
I
birthday
love
as her.
her. I love her.
But
Love her and Kurt Russell.
right. So this, I was like, oh my God, I love this movie. It just everything. Everything that you well,
Oh
this
my
I
God,
had
you're
made. This thing I
so
had
funny.
made. But so that's what I do. And so you're gonna do QVC, but I'm gonna do flea market VC. You know what I'm saying? Flea market show.
I think it's an exciting time for us, JoAnn. I think we have arrived on the scene in 2021. It's happening. I don't know what is going to happen, but I love you. You're just so much energy. You're awesome. You have made my day. You just made my day.
Yes, but with the high highs, love sometimes come the low lows. Because it's like, I'm living in reality, and look at reality. Yeah. I've always lived in reality around people who don't live in reality. That has traumatized me repeatedly every moment of my life.
Oh.
And I think you're the same way
awesome,
too.
Though, because we're like true. You really, I feel like hey, what you see is what you get. Right. I feel like I'm pleased and thank you. I'm nice and just, doing my thing. So do you remember Eric Brown?
Trying to remember Eric Brown.
Eric Brown, great guy.
I'm going to say yes, but I don't.
Okay. He was with the news channel. He was a sportscaster, and he was one of the loveliest people you'll ever know. But he passed away.
Oh gosh, yes,
many years ago.
Did he work at
WBBM? Yes, and he was so just.
Of course,
kind.
I remember. Oh my gosh, yes.
He'd say to me,
tons of shifts
he'd say, Marty, he goes, I just want that little piece of the pie. Like, here's the pie. Right. Like, it doesn't have to be you get this half, you get this, and there's no room. He goes, we all could just have our little sliver of that pie. And I think about him, and he was just a true, good soul.
Yeah, and there's some of us.
So we all get our piece of the pie. You get your sliver. I get my cherry.
We can keep working in something that we love instead of going and doing things that we don't love, like selling insurance, which
I know, right?
Come on. If I get one more headhunter telling me I'd be great at selling insurance. I said, first of all, I already know
Right.
most of these policies don't pay out, and I'm not good at lying. And I'm
Well,
also
the thing
not,
is, I think because our personality, a
yeah.
lot of people are the same with me. They're like, you'd be great at sales. I'm not saying I wouldn't be, but you really got to love it. And I
Sell
think,
what?
at
Yeah.
some age and at some point you say, what is going to work for me? My family, my life, I'm here in Chicago, you're there in California. What's working? And the surprises ahead make me excited for us. Like what's
Sales,
what's next?
right. Like sales is good if you actually truly love the product, right?
Sure.
So I have a recommendation from Murphy who said, and I was so grateful. And same with Jeffro, and I forgot who else, but they said
Okay.
the thing about JoAnn is she's very passionate about what she's passionate about. And
Yeah.
so, and I'm bragging here, and I don't care. And so there's no one more invested in the project that she.
Right.
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 So you're smart to have, because she's looking. So if she loves it, she loves it,
Right.
and so if you love something, then it's
Yeah.
easy to sell it. Working in radio, oftentimes I found salespeople that were there that never knew what they were selling, never
Sure.
bothered to figure out
Sure.
what they were selling. They're just
Sure.
using some old timey formulas that used to work. Well,
Yeah.
everything has changed now. So like you've got these,
Oh,
because right now
completely.
television,
Yeah.
2,741 commercial television stations. There's not that many advertisers out there. So
Yeah.
now you have
Right.
to figure out a way. And I don't like manipulating people into buying things, but, or influence. But perfect
Yeah.
example of how they made this work. Did you ever see the TV show on FX? Zach Galifianakis, I can't say his name.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Baskets.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Arby's. He wrote Arby's into the show,
Oh,
into the
wow.
script as
Okay.
a
Oh,
location where they went. And so
yeah.
then every time that they would be in Arby's having whatever, and then they would throw
Okay.
in, well, it's Arby's, they have the meats, or we've had the meat. But Arby's was advertised, but it was also written into the storyline. So I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, cool.
And that's what
Cool.
I think a lot of these people need to do. Another one was what was the other one? Oh, the Beverly Hillbillies. I started rewatching that because I moved here.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I'm a Beverly Hillbilly. And I got Beverly Hills. Nothing. There's nothing there. It's like Oak Brook. It's like Oak Brook. It's not that big. Rodeo Drive. Every third store
Right.
is empty. It's nothing like you knew. Everything that used to be here. It's all different now. It's all different.
Sad.
Anyway, so I started
Sad.
watching Beverly Hillbillies, and they
Sure.
used to sing whatever the sponsor was into the intro. So it's like da da da
Oh,
da with the band name Jay.
sure.
And
Sure.
then at the end, they would have something buy coconut oil from
Oh,
Healthy
hilarious.
Foods. And I think that that's what people are going to have to do now. How else can you have how else do you sneak them in? So you
Yeah,
have
you're
to have it
just,
in the
it's a
content.
whole, well, this is what I just read an article how, okay, so we're in this pandemic. Oh my God, people have lost jobs and everything and their livelihood, but
Yeah.
out of it can come and will come the just brightness of new ideas, a new way of doing things. And it doesn't mean you and I have to be the next Amazon creator,
No,
but
I'm never
whatever
going to
that
be.
thing is, no, whatever it is going to work for me, going to work for you. I think. Oh my God, I can't. I'm watching my time.
Okay.
Who's
And I don't want to
texting?
take it too much. And you know what?
No,
And every time
no.
I say I'm not going to
I
talk too
was
much,
going to swipe the top because I'm on my phone and I'm swiping. I'm seeing these texts coming in. I'm not that important unless I'm meeting with you. You make me
right.
sound so wonderful. I
You
gotta
are
read
wonderful.
I gotta read my LinkedIn again. I didn't know I did all those
You
things.
did. And so how many jobs how many jobs do you think that you had? Because I think I've been fired like 12 times. I know I was a co-host 6 times, and I was on
Oh,
5 morning shows.
yeah. I'm trying to think. There was so much. I mean, I've been on just about every station. We know that
I
just
was.
doing.
I never
And
made
then
it to the
there were
mix. Never
smaller
made it to the mix,
stations
but everywhere
that
else I
you
did.
were a part of, like co-hosting. I was on the river for a long time out in
Right.
Aurora
So I
neighborhood
did
for a
some
long
stuff with
time.
Scott McKay, but the
Oh
pay was
yeah,
crap.
you did.
The pay was crap, and then they brought in a new guy, and I got in a fight with him, and I walked out.
Oh my God, I
But I
love you.
wasn't making enough. I wasn't making enough to put up with that. So I
Sure.
was like, I'm not making. Here's the thing: if I was making, I would have put up with it. But I was like, no. But I loved Scott, and I loved
Yeah, I
working
mean,
with him. So I kind of up
well,
and
I
just
did
went,
13. I had 13 years of traffic, but when I say traffic, it was sidekick, co-host, all those kind of things. And then I went to LS to do the mornings, and I was, with Dave.
How long were you there though?
How long was I there? Before, it was almost 8 years.
That's what I was gonna say. Because
8
I
years.
was at Kiss
Yeah.
for 7.5 or something. But honestly, that wasn't it was probably the one that got me the most exposure. Not my favorite. Isn't that funny
Yeah.
how it works that way? And
Yeah.
so another thing about classic hit stations, one of our bosses, you'll know who this is, came up to me and he said, JoAnn, I need to get more female listeners, our female demographic, adult females 35 to 55. And I said, well, I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't want to insult your intelligence or anything, but I'm saying maybe you play some songs that those women like. And he said, well, no. And I'm like, well, then how else are you going to get the listeners? Because we're a music station. And I said, so I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe play songs that women like and learn what those songs are.
Oh my God.
And this is what he said to me. He goes, I play Bon Jovi. I said, no, women want to sleep with Bon Jovi. They don't want to listen to his music. Completely different thing. Because we only played Pat Benatar. Madonna's Madonna's La Isla. Madonna has a catalog of 7,000 friggin' songs, and a lot of them charted. And everybody's playing La Isla Bonita.
Oh my God, that's
Pat Benatar had tons of music. They only play "Hit Me with Your Best Shot" or "We Belong." It was like you just get so frustrated. It's like add something, add some flavor, play something.
We have to continue this because there's too much to say, and I'm so sorry because I'm doing a little part-time thing and I have to run.
I have to go too because I have to work. So.
Oh, you have to go to the dumpster and start selling things.
I do. Bras.
Okay. Who's ever listening to this, know that I love you, JoAnn.
She's here. I love you. I love you and I miss you. I hope to talk to you soon. We'll do this again. We'll do it with all the bras.
Stay healthy. Stay healthy and well and beautiful.
Okay.
Now, how do we end? We don't know.
I just end it and then I can fade it out and edit. I'll edit it all. It's all good.
Love
I love you.
How do we hang up? Oh, that's hilarious.